how would you go about planning friendship games if there has not been an in-person one in 3 years?
I can go first. Okay, so from what I know, Friendship Games is a event hosted by Cal State Fullerton, and we have schools along the West Coast and even Nevada or Arizona. We come together and have some friendly competition where we play games and have roll call, I believe. And since we have not had friendship games in 3 years, I would probably start with finding a good coach and roll call choreographer. And once I get those, I will try my best to advertise and show everyone how much of a great bonding opportunity it is to join friendship games. And yeah.
I just asked Jake about friendship games today because I was a little unaware about what it was. But from my understanding, just like you said, it's like a lot of people coming from different sides of the West Coast, and we're all busting out there. And I thought that this was a really cool thing because I've heard about it from a lot of people from their experiences when they had friendship games. So I think that this is something that everybody's anticipating coming into the following year, me as well. And I'm super excited to kind of plan this out to get a lot of people on board, and also promoting it like as soon as we start, like promoting it right then and there, just so everybody knows what it is and how they can attend and stuff like that. But yeah.
To add on, I definitely agree, like that's what Friendship Games is. It's also a place for us to build a community, to create new friendships, to create new memories, to find new people, to spread out, to create connections. None of us standing in front of you have ever experienced an in-person Friendship Games. But that is okay, because I know that I'll be able to utilize my resources, whether that be the seniors who did experience the Friendship Games in person, or and just to hear the stories of what it's like, and to relive it through them, and then use what I obtained of them to plan that event.
Yeah, from my knowledge in the past, since I've also never experienced Friendship Games, it is a way for our Kasamas to express themselves through cheering stuff, or dancing, or roll call, or simply supporting their other Kasamas. And it is an event in the fall every year that we try to do, organized by us, the activities directors. And yeah, how I would improve Friendship Games, because it hasn't happened in 3 years, is I would work with the current activities directors now, like Tyson and Justine or Jade, but to create a plan for the next Friendship Games, because I know they had a plan for this year if it was in person. So I would utilize them, and I would promote inclusivity for everyone in Kasama, because in the past I know that it was seen as kind of exclusive, but it's not that. Everyone in Kasama is open to attend.
To be completely transparent with y'all, I did like a quick Google search this morning and just found out what it was. The way that I see it is like basically a very big family reunion, and you're like, it's from different schools along the West Coast. And I think it's a really cute way to meet your family that you don't really know yet, And I think because we haven't had one in 3 years, it would be a big test for us as activities co-directors to be asking for help. But I think that's what you need to be an e-board, to make sure that you know how to ask for help and to know your resources, where you can go and who to help you.
Yes, hi everyone. I'm not sure if I've had the pleasure of meeting you all yet, but hopefully soon. question for you all is, for one, activities director has always been known to be a role needing a lot of energy and a strong leadership presence. How would you deal with confrontation as the activities director?
Can you repeat one more time?
Yes. Activities director has always been known to be a role needing a lot of energy and a strong leadership presence. How would you deal with confrontation as the AD if a situation arises?
Personally, confrontation to me is not always a bad thing. I actually like confrontation. I know a lot of people don't. But I think confrontation is sometimes good to keep people in a direct, I don't want to say headspace, or like keep them in a direct position. Because a lot of times I feel like we could like maybe get ahead of ourselves or anything like that. So I feel like just coming to us personally and coming to us direct is like one of the best ways. So yeah.
I know what it's like to have to bring energy. If y'all don't know, like I'm on varsity. That's a bunch of like crackhead people on there. Not gonna lie. But we can be very much up there, and I know that's what everyone needs. But again, I do agree with Deja. I don't see confrontation as a bad thing. I see it as a way to better myself, more like constructive criticism. Like, if it's too much, let me know it's too much. If I'm doing something wrong, let me know I'm doing something wrong so that I can better myself for you. Because at the end of the day, I'm not doing it for me, I'm doing it for y'all.
To add on to what Christian and Deja said, and Andre said this earlier too, is that even though we are activities directors, if we get elected, I am still a general member. And I still want to be that friendly face that you can talk to and confront if you have an issue with me or anything that pertains to French games or any event. I still want to be that person that you can just come up to and talk to. And also, like Christian said, constructive criticism is not a bad thing. I believe that being a leader, you have to be open to suggestions, like what I said in my speech. So, yeah, I would just be open to any suggestions, whether that's on keyboard or not.
So, I would say confrontation is necessary, just like how communication is necessary. And if someone were to confront me about how, if I need to improve something on this, or if I should pull back on that, I would simply listen to what they have to say, like listen to their advice, and know that whatever they say is because they want to help support me and guide me into a better direction. Because just for me, I have my own perspective, my own point of view, and having outside perspectives can help me widen everything.
I personally am not the best at confrontation, but I'm really down to like learn and to learn more about how to do that well. And like what my peer said, I think it all comes down to being transparent. Like you need to communicate with me, but I want to make sure that you feel comfortable doing so. Like what I said in my speech, I want to make sure that I foster a community where you're comfortable being open towards me, to your other personas, and to create a space where you're heard and you're understood. And when I say heard, I mean like heard, you know? I don't want it to be like I'm listening to you just to listen. I'm listening to you like from my heart, and I want to be there to help you and to like voice your concerns, and I really want my Kasamahan members to feel comfortable around me, and in whatever way I can do so, I will.
The activities directors do revolve heavily around the social pillar. However, socializing can look and feel differently for everyone. In honor of our Kasamas that are marginalized, that come from different demographics, students that are commuting, students with disabilities, and neurodivergent folks? How do you strive to include all Kasamas in your events?
I think in terms for me, when I was thinking about like planning events, I know like our big ones are friendship games and like GBN Jam and like underrated, like those sports tournaments. That's the ones that are already like given to us. But one of my things that I said in my speech and in my platform is that I really want to hear what each and every one of you want to see within this space, within this org. I want to know what events you want to see, what social gatherings you want to see. And I know events can range, there's such a diverse amount of events that we can plan, and I know it can cater to so many different people. So I think just listening to what y'all want can be like a step in the right direction to increase it.
Going based off what Christian said, I believe in that wholeheartedly. But also just coming into this community, not being Filipino, but also just being here for the culture and being able to educate myself in so many different things. And it's so, like you said, so many different people from any background, disabilities, different races, and et cetera. I feel like personally for me, I could very much include them in a lot of things that we are doing. I'll have certain things, I feel like, I have a lot of ideas, but it's certain things that I feel like we could do to put them in a certain direction, with also even learning about this culture, but also like taking them into account, and helping them discover themselves as well. So yeah.
Bouncing off of what Daisha had to say about discovering ourselves, we're all different. We all have different interests, and things that we want to learn more about ourselves. And I think as co-activities director, I want to push like variation. I feel like it's the smaller activities that are very much more intimate, and I think intimacy is a very important thing to have with a organization for each other to feel safe and to be able to feel vulnerable. And I remember during practice season, I met one of like my good friends there just by painting pumpkins. Let's go, Annie. But
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I would say asking for input from all the members, and from that input, I would accommodate for everyone, like even timing, because as a commuter, sometimes the events would conflict with like going home or coming here, and like that, I would do what Justine and Tyson have done, like maybe picnics during the school day. So like when you're just out of school and your lunch break, you can probably come out on the plaza and bond, meet new people. And
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything. To touch on what you said about commuters and other people that can't come to events because of other circumstances, I believe the biggest thing is communication for me. If you tell me that you can't go to a certain event, that's okay, because we might have other personal things that is going on in your life where you can't drive to campus. So the biggest thing is communicating with me, and I would emphasize that there are going to be a lot more events and activities that are going to go through throughout the year. And I believe that also being open, to everything is important. Being a leader and activities coordinator, I believe that being welcoming and everything in this organization is very important, not just for any board member, but for any position in this space.
So originally, before this year, this role was originally handled by one person. And so considering the scale of the events often put on by activities co-directors, the planning schedule might often overlap, and that's a ton of work. So how do you plan on utilizing each other as co-directors to prevent burnout and facilitate success of your events without sacrificing efficiency?
I know, like you said, in the past it's only been one activities director, and it ultimately became too difficult to handle alone, so there became two. So I would personally continue the president that was set for me by Justina Tyson, by holding meetings once a week so that we are both on the same page. Because I believe that being co-directors, it's important that we always consult each other and we're always on the same page, whether that's towards any event or activity, but anything that pertains to this position. It's important to always communicate.
Going based off of that, I love partnerships, so I feel like this is a great way not only to communicate with my fellow activities co-director, but also I love making a little Google Calendar, a to-do list sheet for all of the things that we need to get done, and just meeting up, talking about it, getting our things together and stuff. I think would be a great resource and a great way for us to continue and not to get burnt out, because it's very easy to get burnt out with having school, but also having to handle this as well. But I think the efficiency of us just meeting together, talking about it, making a set list of the things that we need to get done is a perfect way to handle it.
Yeah, I would agree. Communication is key when it comes to having two activities directors. So, as there are two activities directors, your part should be equal, right? So, you shouldn't heavily rely on one person saying, like, oh, I can skip this because they're there. It should be like equal. And if there is a time where you're not able to attend a meeting or something, you have to communicate that.
Time management and organization skills, so very, very important. And I think I very much embody that when it comes to, like, I've had experience in the past planning events, and I know what it takes to plan really big events, and I'm one to plan really, really early, and to create like lists of like what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, create hard deadlines. And I know that if we communicate that with my other co-activities director and utilize our other resources, whether it be the rest of board, if it's like the Kasama reps, just to like lighten the load a little bit, I think it'd be pretty beneficial to the both.
I definitely believe that time management and organization is important. And I really like the just idea of a Google Calendar and like when to meet. And I also feel like co-directors aren't just partners in a sense for you, they're also friends. So like yes, you need to keep in contact with each other for, of course, the organization, activities that you're planning. But in the end, you're working together not just for the organization, like just simple check-ins, like, hey, how are you aside from what you're planning? How are you feeling? Or is there any time, or like, do you have capacity to meet up? I feel is important.
Okay. So on the with friendship games, we hear a lot about SPUF, stands for Spirit, Pride, Unity, and Friendship. I'd love to know which of those four stand out to you, and how can you incorporate that into your term? Oh, one more time. So on the topic of friendship games, we hear a lot about SPUF, and the term SPUF stands for Spirit, Pride, Unity, and Friendship. I would love to know which one of those four stands out to you, and how can you integrate that into your term?
For me, unity stands out. When I see my leadership style, I think of it as very horizontal. At the end of the day, like Andre said, we are members of Kasama. They're not bored, we're just people. So if we see each other on the same playing field, I think it'll allow members to be more comfortable with us. And I think one of the things is like to bring, like we talked about how like bringing energy. I feel like if they see us having fun, then everyone else will have fun. And I really think that can like bring us together and show that yes, we are Kasama and USF, and yes, we are this family.
Going based off of that, I was gonna say unity as well. But friendship is a really big thing to me. I really love connecting with people. And the friendships that we have in Kasamahan, going to friendship games, it plays a really big role into us just playing on the playing field, right? So us making those connections, but you know, not everybody has to be besties and best friends. But just being there for one another is a very great way of showing that on the playing field, like I said. So yeah, I think that's a very big part of friendship games and friendship for me.
Yeah, I was also going to say unity. In the Kasama mission statement, it literally says unity and solidarity. And I believe that we are a tight community that cares for each other, that loves each other, and we are one big family. And when we express that in friendship games, I will try to include everyone. I will try to be inclusive, especially with freshmen, because it might be their first social event of their full college life, friendship games. So being together and being for each other, being there for each other is really important. So that's why unity stands out.
I'm also gonna point out unity, because one falls, we all fall, one rise, we all rise. I would say that we're all one team, we all should work together, and if one person falls out, then that means everyone falls out. So we have to lift that person up and work as one.
For me, what stood out was spirit. Again, I feel like friendship games is like a family reunion, and I feel like the spirit that you give bounces off of one another, and I completely experienced that with Kasamahan. Like the energy you guys give me is incomparable to anybody else I've met, and I feel like spirit stands out for me, especially in this space, and especially with new family members that you're gonna meet. And after the event is done, I feel like the spirit that you take from one another, you're still going to carry that when you're done with the activity. And you far from the space. And you're going to remember the amount of energy and love that you feel or felt with those people.
So we are coming up on 25 minutes. Does anyone else have any direct questions for us all? No. Okay, so this will be the last question. Y'all have really been talking about communication and being confrontational. I'm going to give y'all a scenario, and I hope that in your answer, y'all are as specific as possible, like what next one you want to use. So the scenario is that you have SPUF practice, and there's 75 people in a room, and with SPUF, as Tristan was saying, it's like a lot of energy, and you're basically like chanting and yelling with each other, and there's just so much going on, and you need everyone to focus and listen to you. Like, how will you get the crowd's attention?
I would start them off with a good old shower clap to rowdy up everybody and get everybody into position. But then after that, then I feel like I would, whatever I'm about to say, or me and my director are about to say, yeah, I feel like I feel like that would work, because we all be rowdy, and then somebody that shower clap will be all quiet real quick. So I feel like that's one of the best ways. If that doesn't work, I'm thinking we just, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something else, but I really think that shower clap will work. So yeah.
I have a fairly quiet voice, and for those people who know me, y'all know I love body language. Like I just start dancing. I feel like I would try to like catch your attention with my voice, but if that doesn't work, I probably won't. I'll like do my little dance. Can I like do my dance for you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's bad.
Do
I
it.
literally just like, hey.
Yeah.
I would do that.
Yeah.
That would get my
Catch people's attention and loosen them up a bit.
For me, even though Spuff I know is very energetic, like you said, it's very rowdy, it's very fun. So I'd probably buy a megaphone. So that's so yeah, so I would buy a megaphone so people can hear me, or I would do the little shark clap like you said. It would probably work. But if not, then I guess that this shows that we are all excited for the event for Spuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was trying to get a megaphone and that good old shower clap, and like what Slide did with PCN. I feel like she got everyone like together with her voice. So I would try to replicate that as well.
I think for me, like the first thing that came to mind was like a call and response. I know like in terms of like varsity, I know like sometimes we can get like a little rowdy, and it can be scary when someone just raises their voice. It can be very like alerting. So if it could be like a simple like say hey yo, say hey oh, just so that I can like bring people back in, and then from there say what I want to say, be like hey look, we've only got an hour here, like. And we're a little bit behind, so like can we just focus a little bit more, and then after like these next 30 minutes you can chat as long as you want. But yeah.
I would also say try to use the shower clap method and tell everyone to gather around, and if that doesn't work, I guess I'll have to use my outside voice inside and kind of like maybe hop on like a chair so that everyone can see me and broadcast my voice so everyone can hear. And yeah.
That's it for questions.